how to find hope in this unpredictable world simply by believing it is well. First of all, it was a Shunamite woman with whom Elijah communicated both, again, like I told you before, in chapters 4 and 8. Her husband, no doubt, a good man, never took part in the conversation. Ladies, true fellowship that hits the mark, that runs deep, that's spirit to spirit. That's true fellowship. No doubt the Shunamite woman had spiritual depth and discernment to facilitate fellowship with Elijah. Now remember, he's a prophet. She received and understood Elisha's fellowship. And she didn't keep it to herself. She shared it with her husband. So let's take a look at this husband. I believe he was a simple man with an open heart for fellowship. Though we do not see that he possesses spiritual depth, but he gladly received his wife's fellowship time and time again without reservations. Goes to say in the scripture where you can be blessed. The unbelieving husband can be blessed by the believing wife, and vice versa. As a result of this openness, the entire household received blessings. So when we consider the attributes of the Shunamite woman, we must not minimize the husband's simplicity and openness to receive fellowship. This Shunamite woman experienced 3 tragedies in her life: the death of her son, and in 2 Kings 8, 1 through 6, the uprooting of her household, and the loss of her property. And yet, she was faithful to God and kind to God's servant. The Shunamite woman is described in verse 8 as great. The Hebrew meaning of great is wealth, piety, renowned, or elements of each. The word great suggests that she is a woman of means. She was a woman of wealth. In fact, her piety predominates as she sets aside a room for Elisha and cares for him whenever he comes to Shunem. It is apparent that she is a woman of great faith, and it is shown in her reveals to her husband that she perceives what she perceives in her spirit about Elijah. Thus she tells him, let's prepare a room for Elisha, so that when he travels into the city, he will have a place to rest. Even though it is suggested that she is the one with the wealth, she did not go ahead of her husband and build the wall. She discussed it with her husband. God took note and wanted to reward her for all the good things she was doing to ensure the comfort of his servant. The woman has secretly longed for a child, but was not able to conceive. She, like so many of us, not just about a child, she has made up in her mind that this is the way it was going to be. And she had moved on with her life. She became comfortable where she was in her life. How many of us get comfortable? This is obvious in verse 13 when she responds to Elisha's questions to her about what he could give her or do for her. Her response, I have a home among my people. She knew that even though her husband was old, she had nothing to fear if he died because she had her own house and her people would continue to look after her. So she is promised a son, and she herself would conceive. I imagine this must have been a challenge to this woman who had already showed great faith. Now imagine somebody you've been bearing for years. Your husband is old, and somebody comes along and says that you're going to have a child, much like Sarah. But she didn't laugh like Sarah. It's hard to believe. True enough, she conceived and gave birth to a son. That reminds me of what Paul says in 1 Corinthians 2:9. No eye has seen, no ear has heard,
That's it.
and no human mind has ever conceived the things that God has prepared for those who love him. Don't count him out. What a step of faith to even believe that this thing that she had desired for so long could now become true, could now become real. Wow. What would you have thought? What would your action have been? More than often, we get comfortable in our faith, accept what already is, and can't even imagine something as magnificent as the gift that God was giving to this woman. The problem with comfort zones, ladies, is they replace our faith in God with a false sense of assurance found only in our own comfort zone. It prevents us from discovering the good things God has for us. And when they do, God will walk you to a place where he will challenge your faith. Now, so she has the son, and he grows. So the son is in the field one day, and his head starts hurting. And the father tells the servant to take the son to the woman, to his mother. So disaster is about to strike. The mother is holding the child, and the Bible says about noon, the child passed. This promise, this hope, this gift that God had given the woman had died. Can you imagine the devastation? Her son, whom she cherished and never thought she could have, had died in her arms. She had been given more than she could have ever hoped for. And now it had been taken away in one quick moment. She could have been in bitter distress. She would have been heartbroken. Her dreams would have disappeared. How many of us, when disaster strikes, we let our dreams go? Her soul would have been vexed within her. But she knew who could help her. So what did she do? The Shunamite woman response to her son's death is not only interesting, but almost unbelievable. Instead of arranging for her son's funeral, she placed the child on Elisha's bed. She tells no one. And she runs straight to find the man of God. Believing all the while that God would raise him from the dead.
Yes.
This act of faith shows that she believed that God, who had given her this miracle, would definitely give her another miracle and raise her son from the dead. Once again, she goes to her husband. And once again, she suggests to him, and I will use that word, what needs to happen. She tells him that she needs a servant, and I need a donkey. I need to go find the man of God. I need to go to Elisha. Again, this husband does not question her, except to say, why this day? But he gives her what she asks. All the while, she still has not told her husband that the son has died. Their only son. Her response when she asked Elisha why she had to go to Elisha, when the husband asked the Shunamite woman why she had to go to Elisha that day, her response, it shall be well.
Yes.
This, I believe she said with great confidence. You ever had a moment where you can say, if I can just get to God? The woman with the issue of blood said, if I can just touch the hem of his garment.
Yes.
You ever had that moment, if I can just get to the altar, if I can just get to the church, if I can just get to the man of God, if I can just fall on my knees. It shall be well. So Elisha sees her coming and she's going. Elisha sends his servant Gehazi out to meet her. And he says, is it well with thee? Is it well with your husband? Is it well with the child? Her response to Gehazi, it is well.
It is well.
Wait.
Now,
Notice her response. Notice the wording of her response. See, people miss this. When her husband asked, she said, it shall be well.
Yeah.
Now that she's gotten closer to the man of God, her response has changed, and it is well.
It is well.
It has gone from it shall be to it is.
Yes.
Why the change in the response? What made her go from it shall be to it is? The scriptures don't give us any indication. It doesn't give us any explanation. Nowhere could I find in all my studying why her response had changed. I got so stuck on this difference. And I consistently wondered what happened to make her change her words. Allow me my reasoning. Remember, it's my reasoning. And it does not come from anything I read. It does not come from anything I studied. My reasons come from my life experience. See, I can relate to this woman because I've had that it shall be well to it is well moment. See, it takes a tremendous amount of faith to speak to a situation that you already know is dead. And say to yourself, it shall be well. And say it to somebody else, it shall be well. And you know the situation is already dead. It hasn't. I'm not just talking about a person. I'm talking about a situation, that mess that you're in, that bad financial situation, that bad marriage, that bad relationship, that family problem, whatever it is. It shall be well.
Yes.
But to go from it shall be to it is.
It is. Yes, indeed.
Take that unmeasurable amount of faith to speak to a dead situation.
Whew.
It is well. I believe that her change in response was due to the amount of time she spent traveling from her home to meet Elisha. She had such confidence in God's mercy and His goodness that she believed, without a question of a doubt, that He would and He could restore her son's life. As she traveled, I believe her faith grew even more as she got closer to God. As she went along the way, she got closer. See, ladies, this is why you get closer.